Hey, I'm Blue. I'm an artist in Houston. I paint, I tattoo, I do murals. Yeah. On God is because of my brother. He was making a lot of art when I was a kid, and everyone was like praising him, and I was like, F you, dude. I can do that too. And that's really the only reason I started doing art. It was because I was being a little pick-me kid, and from there I just kept doing it because I ended up being pretty good at it as just like a little guy, and then that just became my passion project. Yeah, so this is the depiction of the Virgin Mary in the eyes of the Philippines. So this is Lady Peñafrancia. She's kind of depicted like a doll back at home. Originally, this canvas was just a scribble canvas. I was just kind of doodling on it. I had it behind my bed just to like have something to. But I was going through something. I left my home country. I was there for 2 months, and I think it was really hard for me coming home. I came back to this, and this was like a dedication to my home, to my grandma, Lola. Shout out Lola. But this was like a time where, like, I know it doesn't ever look as serious as it is, but this was a time where I just kind of was like missing my home a lot. I think the Philippines, even though it's due to colonization, we are so in touch with the religious parts of us, and Virgin Mary was always something I related to more, and how I grew in like a Catholic faith. But yeah, this is my girl. I love this one the most. This one means a lot to me. I'd say childhood. It's definitely always been like, especially with like my style now, reverting to like what it's like to feel like a kid. I think I'm a big girl with a kid's heart, like no matter what I do. So it's always gonna be back to like that feeling of like pain, fun, love as a child. I think that's the best place to be mindset wise and understand the root of like who you are is who you were as a kid. I don't know. When it comes to emotionally, I feel like I'm not that serious about it anymore. I think I've found, or I'm finding a place where I'm like okay with like it is what it is and being happy with what I'm looking at. I think whenever I was in school learning how to like paint and jazz like that, I was always like being so critical because I was around critical people. And so now I'm kind of like just happy with what I'm looking at. If it makes me happy, then that's all that matters. You know, I think the whole point I did this is to be happy. So yeah. Like I've moved on to spray paints and stuff, and I was always like a paint person, paint marker girl. Now I'm like moving into like a bigger like canvas and stuff. So going from small to huge, I realized like that's more my niche, is to work on bigger things and stuff. So then technical. Clients. Holy shit. Clients. I think we were talking about it earlier, man. Like, people are never satisfied, or they're so satisfied that they want more. It would be awesome to just work for myself and just sell what I got. But right now we're working on the commission lifestyle. You know what I mean? So clients have been a pain in the butt. I mean, yeah, that's gotta be the hardest part of doing art. I mean, I guess to some extent it gets harder the older you get. Like sometimes I have moments where I'm like feeling like I'm not the creative kid I used to be. So it's having to retouch back to like who I am. At my core, I'm a kid. So I try to have to like put myself in like more fun spaces so I can like feel that again and continue to do what I do the way I do it. Kid, I was up to no good though, but I think I was drew on shit, and then I found out what tagging was through like friends that I had that were like in the skate scene and stuff, and I thought that was dope. I was scared of skateboards, but I could spray, and like I would just like start getting into like the markers and stuff, and I went from just like working on just not even working on, like I just naturally would just draw like my name, write it, the BLU thing, because I originally had like a B-U-E and then an L through it, and then that would be everywhere. It's like somewhere in Katie Mills from when my mall rat style high school teenager thing. But it was really like because of like the people I hung out with, like they showed me that, and like it was just like a niche little group that like I come around. I had like a boyfriend in high school that did it, and I just started doing it, and then I just kept doing it. I always keep like a marker on me, and I'll just write my name there. And then it was really cool when I started seeing people like send it to me, and they'd be like, "Oh shit, this is you." I was like, "That is me." And I was like, "Thanks for recognizing." But I think, you know, same thing goes with the muraling thing. I want people to be like, "This is you." Like, I think my style is pretty noticeable. So that's like really dope to like know that like people recognize what's my work. And then painting, I always liked big colors, a lot of color. And then spray painting, I think the first time I ever like painted a wall wasn't even spray paint. It was like Home Depot house paint. My dad told me I could paint my wall, and I did like this koi fish outline. And then it wasn't like until like last year or something, someone presented me a wall again. It was like my homeboy Chino. He has like a barbershop out in Lake Jackson. And then I found out he was having someone else paint his wall. And I was like, fuck you, you know I'm an artist. And then, so he was like, okay, fine, go paint the outside. Big green dude. And so I started with him, and then from there, like I just kind of got like these like little opportunities. I mean, I'm really just kind of like in the middle of it. I just started really when it comes to like muraling. Painting has always been there. I did the airbrush thing. I fucked that shit up because I don't know how to wash my own stuff. But the spray paint was like when I first like kind of hit the can, I was like, hell yeah, like this is really cool. Like to actually paint with it instead of just like doing like a little blue symbol thing. Actually like doing something, that shit was so fun. So now I'm trying to take it up full time, do my whole thing. I mind my business. I'm gonna be so for real with you. No, I think everyone does it for whatever reason they want to do it. You know, I mean, I'm not really here to entertain ones that have like this giant fucking story. Like that's cool, and maybe I might be interested one day, but it's a lot. And I think for me personally, my focus is always to make me feel better. Like it was always about myself. This is what I do for myself. So it's like self-expression. Yeah, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like I think it's dope. I know one artist, Killjoy, I think is her name, on her like kitchen table. She does like these puppets for like a lot of movements, and it's really dope. And I think that's so cool, and that's like someone I'm willing to like listen and hear like what their mission is. Some people are doing it just to like do it, look cool, you know, and some people are doing it sometimes they're overshot, and I'm like, dude, like do you, man, as long as you're like into what you do and you're passionate about it, fuck yeah. I think it's important that it's there. It's hella important. Do I think that's like the forefront of like what all art is right now? Kind of, yeah. Like everyone has to say something. I had like this art professor, and God bless her, she was awesome. But she would always try to make my shit like about some deeper meaning. And I was like, dude, it wasn't anything crazy, you know? But it matters. I think art catches people's attention, and I like when people say stuff. Right now it's a lot of like social justice stuff, and I'm like, dude, like, does anyone feel anything anymore? Like with my shit, it's like it'll make you happy, it'll make you sad, it'll make you feel something. Like the best compliment I ever got about my art is that it has a soul, and like it makes you feel something. I miss art that is, I guess, like, not that I miss, like, it's still there. I definitely see people like come out here and like show like that relatable feeling, and even if it's not relatable, maybe it might not make sense all the time. Like the human experience. I like artists that have the human experience, like slice of life. You know, I always was like really into like webtoon slice of life stuff, like things that like kind of like remind you of yourself, but like you don't see it like as like just a painting itself. Like, so it's nice to see stuff that's like, you know, part of the human experience. I can't talk about it intellectually, but someone that really did that good was Murakami, and like a lot of people just like him for hype, but maybe I'm talking out my ass, but didn't he like do everything he did because of like the war and shit? Like he was just trying to like uplift the spirit on some real shit. Like I think it matters to give someone something fun when shit's hard. This is where I do my jazz. Not really. I put it here thinking I would work on it, but I don't really work here. I work in my bed. But I do keep my stuff out here. Those are my spray paints. I always overshot and buy way too much, and then I end up with like extras. This is from like the last 3 I've done. I don't know. It's like a silly little table that I thought I'd use because it lifts. I don't do that. I don't know.
I'm amazed at y'all's apartment. Just how
type. This the shout out Air and her interior design.
And this is one that's in progress right here.
This is like, you know what? Honestly, I told my friends started fucking with it, and then they made bullshit, and I was like, I'm gonna make it better. So I started that, and then
is that pastel?
Yes, it is. Honestly, pain in the butt, dude. Gets everywhere. So fucking, I'm a fast drying girl. I don't know. It was cool. I like it. I feel like it's not done yet. I'm gonna do something with it. It's given kid.
Tell me about this one.
These guys, these are my dudes. Go fishing. It was never meant to make sense. Dead ass. I think I started this background because I was like, let me try some abstract shit. Let me get like Basquiat in this hoe. Did not give Basquiat, and then I didn't do anything with it for like 2 years, and then I was like, fuck it, let me put my cartoons on it. So everything on top of like this little bubble and paint background was like done not that long ago, but it was never meant to make sense. It just wasn't. It was just me feeling out like my style and doing it, and then I think behind it says like, think about it, it never will. I don't know. I think I was just like, that's bitchin'. That's a bitchin' idea. And I wanted my like dudes like having like this surreal moment and stuff. Got him. Got. I really wish I had like a bigger story to some of these things. Sometimes it just comes in my head.
Yeah.
And I just be going. I just be going for it, you know?
Well, it's all the things that are in your life that you've tied to this with, like working in a tattoo shop.
Come here.
Here, let me move.
We talked about this.
Go ahead.
We talked about this one. It was for my grandma. I felt like her soul followed me back from home. And so she was always a very religious woman. I've always had like a really strong tie to the Virgin Mary. Just like, I'm not even religious like that. But, you know, if I had any faith in anything, this is who I was talking to on the most part. So this is for Lola. Behind it, there was like, I was like kind of losing my mind. There was like this crazy like painting. It was like a little Adam and Eve mention, and like there's Babayan, so our native text. It's really like, I could never really explain it, but it feels like home to me. My home is the Philippines at the end of the day. I wasn't born there, but that's where my soul echoes. So this was just for her and all that. This is like something that goes back to my mom, that goes back to like my ancestors and just all that jazz. Cause like, even though like Catholic beliefs is like a colonial thing, behind it is native texts. Behind it is like, you know, like the naked body of a woman, and it's just like, you know, it kind of like, it's a time capsule of just what I believe in. But you know, you don't really see that when Here we go. Best friends forever. This started because of this guy. I was just upset. I was going through like a period of where like all my homies were just kind of like disappearing. When you get older, people become shitty and they show you like how they've changed and stuff, and like, you know, it's not the same as when you were kids. Like, you know, I still think I'm a kid, but especially when I was like 18, 16, 15, 12, that's like some friends that I was losing, like long-term friends. So it started here, and then I was going through it with the homies. So I did that, and then, you know, homies ended up not homies, and I was like, you know what? Let me make a whole series out of it a little bit longer later. I feel like this is what I was talking about earlier. It's like tough subject. Losing like your friends is like losing a lover. But you know, it doesn't really like make you want to like rip your heart out and go like jump, you know. Like, it's just enough to like enjoy it and like it and love it and be like, that's really cool. But then like when you really think about it, it's like, ah, man, ouch. This is actually something I made for a show. It was a Frank Ocean dedication show. I thought I could have a lot of fun with it, so I did. And this was for fun. It was for, you had to like dedicate like your piece to like a song. And it was for super rich kids, and that was my favorite song by him. And not that I was a super rich kid, but you know, I got him eating like his friends and shit. Cause it was all about like having people, but not having like enough. So he's like gluttonous. And then I did like little shout outs, Sweet Life, and then the car, the DHL, and the bicycle, and that. And like the green hair obviously is so known for Frank Ocean. The bears being like those friends that are just kind of there, but they don't really feel that real. I feel like that's what I got from the song. And then there's this tag that I tried to do, but I hated it, so I never did it again. But alright, so some jazz I got in here. Let me close this closet door. Y'all need to know that kind of honesty. But this one, another one where I was like, oh, let me get like these Basquiat kids. Definitely didn't come out anything like Basquiat, but I like it. Not everybody likes it. It's not for everyone, but it's okay. It's for me. These aren't mine. These are from Homeboy in the Philippines. Super talented artist. Mary is Black. These three are mine. This is the lady from Kung Fu Hustle. I just think she's dope. I was like, I want to be more like her, so I'm gonna draw her. She's just kick-ass. And then Nothing Certain But Death, Taxes, and Cash App Scam. I got in a Cash App scam. Yeah. Didn't work out. Like, I'm just a little guy trying to make it. You know, why are you asking so much of me? Please. Here's some flat boards I did. These are just like, I do it for fun. These are ones I did when I was younger. This isn't for me. This is actually not mine. This is a homeless man in Miami. super cool guy.
Oh, it's a cool
yeah, like badass dude. Dude's killing it. Honestly, should be making more money than I do. But it's like Winwood or something. I don't remember what it said. But this is like shit I did when I was younger. Again, back when I was like trying to take it too serious, which is like cool.
It's bottom.
Yeah,
I love the colors
it's
on it.
dope. Yeah, I think I've always been a color person, but I think I was just trying to like make people feel something. But I feel like I make people move better with what I do now. Yeah, but like, you know, it's like just life, bro. Everybody wants something from you. So how do you save the world when you can't even save yourself?
I want to know about this.
The Babayan. This is just like a little like lettering thing. Honestly, it could go in a school, but this is the native text of the Philippines. Babayan, mabuhay ang Pilipinas, is long live the Philippines. And then that's just our native text. That's what our people used to do. Magmahal is on the bottom. That's like to love. And then the Babayan transcript of it next to it. Yeah, I'm very proud to be Filipino. So I try to like bring back roots. Somehow I'll figure out how to do my style and still reconnect with my people. But right now it's just tattooing. That's really like my center focus.